We went through a big turnaround over the last 24 months. And last year, we actually saw the fruits of that change we did and the new strategy. So we became profitable, but we also saw growth for the first time in actually 5 years. So with that, we can put a check mark on our turnaround. And we feel that we're a much stronger company today than we were 12 months ago. That's also why we have the opportunity to take the next step and start to pursue acquisitions. And we see the antenna, the Kathrein, as a very important acquisition for us because we see in the future antennas and integrated antennas and radios will be increasingly important. So for example, on site solutions, we can actually minimize the size and optimize the performance by integrating antennas as well as radio. But we also see that we need to build stronger competence in active and passive antennas for 5G, and that's going to be very important. So Kathrein will be a very important part of our business going forward.
Yeah, I saw you pulled out some antenna tape on stage just now, talking about the future of high-density antennas. I got to ask about China, and specifically the controversy around Huawei and some others. Is that net helping you or hurting you in the marketplace, because it plays one way in North America, Europe, another way, I imagine, in China, where you want to gain some share?
You know, the reality is, if we look at facts, we don't see any impact in our order books of this. Almost the opposite. So if we think about our operator customers, they are concerned. This leads to uncertainty, worries. So if anything, we have gotten a much more uncertain situation. So we don't see, any signs really. So for us, no benefit. More rather on the slower side. But it's very speculative. We have no idea what's going to happen. We kind of take the other tack. We say, what can we do? What can we impact? It's to invest in technology, providing our customers with the best solutions. And that's what we're going to continue to do, because nothing else we can impact.
Let me bring in my colleague, Karen Cho. Karen?
Thanks, John. I just wanted to follow up on your question around Huawei, because, Borje, the problem is that many carriers already have Huawei equipment with 3G and 4G. Is it really possible for these carriers to then adopt equipment from another partner, from yourself or from Nokia, and not be impacted? Because many of those carriers are worried about delays and cost increases and complexity on top of it. So is it possible to have equipment from different providers?
That's a very good question, and the reality is many operators have a mix of vendors in their network. So of course that is always a complex situation. But what you also see is that many of our customers have actually old equipment in the network that anyways needs to be modernized. So there are many paths with which you can deal with the situation. But that's why, as I said before, what you're actually seeing is increasing uncertainty on how to cope with this. And that's the big debate, I think, in the industry right now.
Borje, one of the questions that Huawei simply can't answer is a law in China in 2017 that effectively forces all Chinese companies to comply with intelligence if they come knocking. But it does open the debate. What about Western companies? If there's pressure from governments to hand over some information or to help them spy, what would you do? So let me put that question to you. If a government asked you to spy for them, what would you say?
We're a multinational company. We're a global company. We have our headquarters in Sweden, of course, but we are in 180 countries, and it's always important for us to comply with local laws and regulations. And of course, that's what we're going to do. At the same time, what we take great measures in is, of course, to protect our intellectual property. So we have to think about how we structure our global R&D chains, how we protect the value we generate, and make sure that we have integrity in our products. And that's where we focus our attention.
Borje, I want to ask you about the pace that you expect for the 5G rollout. I believe you said on your latest earnings call that demand in the U.S. from the likes of AT&T and Verizon so strong that you don't have enough people on the ground to satisfy that demand. But we're seeing the initial rollout of a few cities, major cities in the U.S. It's unclear, at least from the consumer demand perspective, what the pace of that demand is going to be. So how does that affect your business planning? What do you expect the consistency of that 5G demand to be throughout 2019 heading into 2020?
Actually, last year we invested in trying to make sure that we have a more smooth development. So we tried to invest in tower crews, training of tower crews to bring new crew capacity onto the market to deal with the need to modernize the network. So we have tried to invest, but what we see today, and we're probably one of the largest trainer of tower crews in North America actually, but what we see now is that the tower crews are the limiting capacity to actually modernize faster. So with the pace you saw last year, you can kind of safely predict that's the best we can do also for 19.
So what do you do about that, given that the labor markets are so tight? Is there anything you can do?
Yeah, we try to. So we operate our own training facilities and training centers. So for example, we train veterans. We think veterans are actually highly capable of moving into new technology like this and climbing a tower. They seem to be kind of natural thing to do for them. Other people get scared. They are used to managing demanding situations. So that's, for example, one way to build the capabilities. So we're trying to do this recruitment, investing in our own training. But it's hard. It's a real challenge.
Yeah. Indeed, I imagine it must be. Quickly, one more. You said that the recent acquisition, the acquisition you announced today, signals the health of the turnaround. Any more restructuring that you expect to happen over the next couple of quarters?
We took some big restructuring initiatives in 2017 and 18, and we revamped our BSS strategy as well that we announced earlier this year. But after that, we feel that we have the right portfolio composition, the right, call it cost structure, to be very competitive going forward. So from now on, it shouldn't be any extra initiatives in any way.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.